5 acres of land for sale in San Miguel County, New Mexico. And in this video, I will share the top things that will help you decide whether this property is a good fit for you based on my experience selling over 700 parcels of land. So let's start with location. Now this property is in eastern New Mexico, not too far from the border with Texas, and just to the east of the town of Las Vegas, New Mexico, not Nevada. Now this area is a rural area. We are close to the Conchas Lake Reservoir, which is over here. That's a reservoir created by the Army Corps of Engineers or managed by the Army Corps of Engineers, and it does have good fishing there. So let's take a look at what the surrounding area looks like. So again, very rural area, largely undeveloped here. So this is a parcel for someone looking for desert land where you can either invest, use it for recreation, or build a off-grid homestead that is way out of the way. So as you can see here again, wide open views of the desert, flat landscapes. You do have some kind of quasi-mountain views in the background. And you do have access via a dirt road. Now I would say you probably need 4x4 to access the road here or the property. Because these roads are not really maintained. This is an out-of-the-way rural area. So again, this is a property for someone looking for an affordable lot in an area where you still have largely untouched desert, close to Conchas Lake if you want that resource for fishing and boating. So if you want recreational or off-grid homestead land, that really is far away from everyone. Now, this, of course, is not a property for someone who is obviously looking for a suburban area or somewhere near town. And certainly not a lot for anyone looking for public utilities available. This is also not a property for someone looking for a rural lot who is not prepared to deal with roads that might not be in great condition, or who doesn't understand or isn't able to do full off-grid living. Right. So all those things to keep in mind. The good thing about this area is it is very, very affordable. So this is an easy property to buy also as an investment property and hold on to for a long time. And let's take a little bit closer look at the property, what you can do, and some of its characteristics. That might help determine whether it's a good fit for you. Okay, so actually, let me go back to the location for a second. Now, this property is actually not too far from the main road that leads to this area. So it's a few blocks away from the main road. And then you do have to take this dirt road for about half a block to get to the property. Now, this particular part of the road is going to be a little bit rough. It's not as maintained. But the rest of this part of the road should be in decent enough shape. There is actually a home right here, as you can see in satellite images. All right. And again, the closest town is Las Vegas, which is about... Oops, I always do that. Which is about an hour away. And then Las Vegas is going to have all the basic amenities like grocery stores, medical care, all of that. Actually, I think they have they have a hospital as well. Okay, so what can you do with the property? So I'll start by saying there is no HOA on this property, so no additional layers of private restrictions. And the lot is zoned agricultural residential, which I'll pull up San Miguel County zoning ordinance so we can look at what's allowed here, but this is a very permissive zoning designation. you're pretty much going to be allowed to do most of the things that I hear land buyers are interested in. So for example, agricultural uses like ranch, farm, dairy are allowed in this zoning designation. You also are allowed a single family home or mobile home. You can even display and sell agricultural products. I doubt you would probably do that from this property itself because you're not going to get any foot traffic, but yeah, all kinds of agricultural uses are allowed here. You can also use it for storage of trailer or boat, although you can't live full-time in an RV, I will note that. And accessory buildings are allowed as well. Now, in terms of RVs, so you aren't technically allowed to live full-time in an RV on this property, but you can use an RV for recreational purposes, typically for a period of 3 to 4 months. So this is also a property that you could use for recreational purposes as well as agricultural or homestead residential. But of course, I do always recommend that you confirm all of this information with the county. Right. Now, another thing I'll mention is this is being a very rural area. You won't expect to have any utilities here. This will be a completely off-grid lot if you did want to build. So wells, septic, solar, all of that. Another thing I want to mention is one of the nice things about these very rural, out-of-the-way properties is that the annual taxes are very low. So here they're only $5, which makes it very easy to pick up these properties and hold them for a long time as well. All right, now I do also want to cover a few other items that are important to understand if you did want to build on the property. All right, so let's pull the property up. Right, so now, as I mentioned, the property is pretty flat. And we can see from the contour lines here how flat it is. The approximate elevation is about 4,600 feet. And the property, well, there are no oil wells in the area, so that could be an important piece of information. No solar farms either, or power plants. It's also not in a special hazard flood zone, so that's important. It means there are no additional requirements for flood insurance or building elevation. And you'd be surprised, that can show up, as you can see here, in desert areas as well. Another thing that I do want to mention is wetlands. There are no wetlands either. Again, you'd be surprised, as you can see here. Sometimes desert areas also have wetlands, and wetlands are important to look into because you generally can't build on wetlands, so those can have a huge impact on building. All right. And just a quick note on soils. A lot of the area has similar soil. I like to check that because I want to see that other properties that have a similar soil type have been built on to see if septic would be feasible. Now, in this area, I actually wouldn't be that concerned about septic feasibility. So you can look at the soil map here. The only thing I'll note is there's not much building in this area, so it's kind of hard to judge based on the soil type since you're not seeing much building in this area. But like I said, in this kind of climate with these kinds of soils, I'm not as worried about septic anyway. All right, so those are some of the, but we can quickly pull up the soil report just so we can see what kind of soils on the property. All right, so it is usually it says sandy or loamy, but if you know anything about soils, here is the type of soil that's on the property. Okay, so I think that covers most of the basics about the property. As I said, the other thing is we are pretty close, about 20 minutes to Conchas Lake, which does have, according to the Army Corps of Engineers, good fishing. Right, but we can take another look at what the property looks like. In the meantime, or I guess the next major item would be price. Some might say that's the most important item. So I will cover that in a second, but first I do want to introduce myself so you know who you'd be working with. So my name is Erica. I am the co-founder of Gokche Capital, and I have a company that sells land. Our mission is to help people across the country become landowners and build their own version of the American dream. And we have helped over 700 people buy land at this point. And you can find all of our properties at land.gocap.com. You can see that we do work throughout the US, so if there are other areas that you're interested in, you can check out our map and some of our available properties there. But today we are looking at number 805 on our website. This is one of the properties in San Miguel County. It's 5 acres. And quick note, this number is our internal numbering system. You're not going to see this number on the deed. If you did want to call the county and research the property, you could give county officials this number here, the assessor's parcel number. But to find the property on our website, it's number 805. And we have listed this property at a price of $6,995 plus the $595 dock fee. Now, one thing I'll mention is I'm not a real estate agent. My company only sells properties that the company owns. So that means you are dealing directly with the owner. It also means that we can offer owner financing on all of our properties, including this one. But when you go to our website, you will not see set owner financing terms, and that's on purpose. Oh, hi, Clever Enigma. How are you? Need a small property with water. Is there a particular area that you're interested in? Because after I wrap up this property, I can go back to the listing page. We can quickly look through some of them. But yeah, you won't see set owner financing terms on the listing page. That is because we do tailor our owner financing terms to meet the needs of each individual buyer. That way we can make sure that the property really is affordable for you. So if you are interested in owner financing, I do always suggest that you reach out to us and let us know what kind of down payment and monthly payment would work for your budget. And then we can come up with terms that do work for you. Now, I do want to be upfront about two terms. So the first is the higher the down payment, the lower the interest rate. The second is we do say there's no building on or living on the property until the end of the loan term. And this is for liability purposes, but you can use the property for recreational uses, or you can make minor improvements like fencing, grading, generally anything that doesn't require a permit, as long as you're in compliance with all local rules and regulations. There's also no prepayment penalty, so you can always pay off the loan early, get started building, and save on interest. In fact, if you pay off early enough, we'll give you cash back. So if you pay off in 6 months, we'll give you 5% cash back, and if you pay off in 12 months, we'll give you 2.5% cash back. All right, Clever Enigma. All right, we'll take a look at some of our other Western properties in a second. I'm just going to wrap up some of these terms here. So the other thing I do like to mention is our 365-day land exchange guarantee. And we created this because I'd heard from many previous buyers that one of their biggest concerns before buying land was potentially getting a property that doesn't work for them because they missed a due diligence item here or there. So to solve for that, we did create this exchange guarantee. Basically, any time in the first year of owner financing, you are able to exchange the property for another one in our inventory. All you have to do is reach out to us and let us know you'd like to exchange the property. Then you pay another dock fee, and we'll move over all of the principal payments to the new property. And that way you know that you can get a property that works for you. The other thing I like to call out is we did recently create a landowner success bundle, and this is based on feedback from, again, hundreds of other buyers. This does come free with every purchase, and it's a set of 9 bonuses designed to help you get the most from your land. So these bonuses include exclusive offers with mobile home manufacturers, monthly landowner Q&A calls with me, a complimentary vacation voucher, a hotel savings card, a free 30-minute architectural consultation with me because I do have a background in architecture, our homesteading guide, building and zoning guide, post-closing checklist, and exclusive neighbor lookup tutorial. So all of these bonuses do come free with every purchase. You get them when the deed's recorded, so that's either upfront with a cash sale or at the end of the loan term with owner financing. And if you are interested in purchasing the property, there are 2 steps I recommend to get the process started. The first would be to hold the property on our website. And I say this because before we created the hold feature, we would have buyers go out to visit the property or take a few days to do some due diligence and then get back to us and find that the property was sold. So to prevent that from happening, we did create our hold option. It lets you take the property off market for up to 8 days while you visit the property, do your research, or get funds together. It's only $50 for 2 days, and there's an automated checkout process that you can go through to hold the property. Just click buy or hold and then click hold. So that's step 1, hold the property. Step 2 would be to book a call with me to go over questions, next steps, and owner financing if you are interested in owner financing. So you can book a call at call.gocap.com. The other thing I'll mention is if you're just starting out and you're not entirely sure which property would work best for you, on my calendar you can also book a free land strategy call where we can go over your land buying goals and some tips that I would recommend looking into for some aspects that I would recommend looking into for any property you're seriously considering in order to make sure that it works for you. We can also go over some of our properties if that makes sense. If not, we can simply do the strategy call. So you can book that at call.gocap.com as well. And in a similar vein, I do also do free property reviews on these live streams. So if you have a couple properties that you're looking at and seriously considering, and you'd like a second opinion or a free opinion on any of them, you can join any of my live streams at 7 p.m. Eastern and leave your property in the chat, and I'll take a look at it for you for free as soon as I finish the property of the day. And the last thing I do want to mention is we also have a free land giveaway. We run it twice a year. It's just a fun promotion to get the word out about our company. The next one's coming up on July 4th. On that day, we will give away the lowest value property in our inventory live on YouTube. And if you would like to be in the running for that, you can watch a quick 1-minute video at freelandgiveaway.com or just go to our YouTube homepage and watch the free land giveaway video to see how to participate. All right, so Clever Enigma, you were saying you're looking for a property out west. So we do have a number of properties in the west: Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, and Nevada. I will say, though, none of them have public water available. But a lot of them are in areas where people are living off grid and able to drill wells. I do typically recommend the Tierra Grande Improvement Association in the Southwest. You probably watched one of my videos on it, but it's an area just to the south of Albuquerque. Now, Tierra Grande is an improvement association, so it does have some building restrictions, but I really like Tierra Grande because they have kind of made sure that roads are in good condition here. They've also worked to expand power lines out to the subdivision, and they've done things like bring in a fire station. So some of the basic infrastructure you really need in order to build in an area, they make sure that that's there. So, and I've also contacted them. They're really easy to work with. So Tierra Grande is one of those areas that I do recommend if you're looking to build in a property out west in a more rural area. But I'm also happy to go over more of our properties and talk about your goals if you'd like. You can, of course, book a call with me if you'd like, or you can keep joining these live streams. Watch, some of the videos on the various properties we have, see if any of them speak to you. And of course, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have while you're here. All right, so But again, for anyone who's watching, you can find all of our properties, including the one that I highlighted today, at land.gocap.com. And we were looking at number 805. It's a 5-acre property in San Miguel County. And of course, please feel free to join me any day at 7 p.m. Eastern. I am live every day. All of our properties are at land.gocap.com, and you can always book a call with me at call.gocap.com. So thank you all for watching Clever Enigma. Thank you for joining, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.